One of the most wonderful things to have others say about others is, I know that he or she is a righteous person, a holy man or woman of God. This is the highest acknowledgement that can be paid to us, and such recognition should be all our aim. As all of us have the vocation called the universal call for holiness. It doesn't matter if you're a priest or not. It is all our call to be holy. But is this still possible in our modern day? How? In our first reading, the woman recognized the holiness of Elisha. She said to her husband, "Look, I am sure this man is a holy man of God." She was able to say that because whenever Elisha passed by her house, he always stopped in to share fellowship with her and her husband. Elisha was never busy with God's work or the affairs of this world to forget the need to be with others in a hospitable manner. For God's work requires that we find time to be present to others and share ourselves with one another. It may seem like such an ordinary, routine thing to do. And yes, it is ordinary. Yet, it is in the ordinary and everyday things that we do that we grow in holiness. Elisha was recognized as a holy man of God because he did ordinary things extraordinarily well. He was so committed, no matter how simple they are. He didn't take these simple commitments for granted. Another person who comes to my mind who did ordinary things extraordinarily manner is Saint Therese of Lisieux. Saint Therese is called the little flower. Why? Because she translated her little ways in terms of a commitment to the task and to the people she met in her everyday life. She took her assignments in the convent of Lisieux as ways of manifesting her love for God and for her sisters. She worked as a sacristan by taking care of the altar and the chapel. She served in the kitchen, cooking, doing dishes, cleaning, sweeping the floor, and in the laundry room. It is called a little way precisely by being simple. She did them faithfully, calling for an amazing fortitude and commitment. Catholics have been attracted to Saint Teresa's style. Her little way seems to put the holiness of life within the reach of ordinary people. All of us are also called to embody such holiness in our lives. It is in the ordinary things that our holiness is given expression and strength. This holiness is not a call to remove ourselves from the demands of everyday life. This holiness does not deny the reality of sin and human weakness. Rather, the holiness of which our woman in the first reading was so moved is one in which God is made visible through our human efforts and weakness. Same for Saint Therese. We do our best, and God supplies what is lacking through His abundant grace. In the same aspect, this is what we can learn too from Alicia's holiness in our reading. It inspires others to greater levels of generosity. Alicia's holiness, just like Saint Teresa's, inspired people to be holy as well. We ourselves should be inspiring others too to be holy, because we are called to be example or to follow the example of Jesus. This means we are to be holy as Jesus is holy. That is, we are to die to sin and self-absorption. We are to let the will of the Father be the center of our lives. Again, we see that such holiness involves welcoming, hospitality, and extending the basic needs of life to those in need. What makes all of this extraordinarily is the motivation. We do the ordinary in the name of Jesus, who made love visible. Jesus has entrusted us with the ongoing work of the kingdom. It is a work that does not allow any human attachment to frustrate the reign of God. The work of the kingdom transforms our everyday hearts into hearts which will forever sing the goodness of the Lord.